Bresky for three. Osborne gives to Turner, goes up for knocks it down. Coming into action today. Now it's Donovan Wright will bring it across. He finds it down low. Baseline reverse. That is no good. Rebounded by Bresky. Pushes it down the court for Burns. It goes up with a shot. Gets fouled and one. And the gym explodes the food section just over to our right here, Tom. All on there going nuts after that one.
Good evening and welcome out to Blair Academy here in Blairstown, New Jersey, as we get set for this exciting matchup between the 14-4 Blair Buccaneers and the 14-2 Pope John Lions. Alongside Derek Raymond, I'm Sean Lerman here on Strive. And this really promises to be an outstanding matchup between two very, very talented basketball teams.
I always look forward coming out to Blairstown and watching this team play. I know that, like every year, they have a great lineup of players, really strong athletes, a couple of post-grads that are looking really to make a dynamic impact on this team in this game. So I'm really looking forward to this game. I know Pope John is incredibly good. They were ranked number one for quite a while. I think they fell a little bit in the standings, but nevertheless, they're a great team. They are a hard team to play against. They play with a lot of energy, a lot of speed, and a lot of down-low strength.
If you're looking for a game that features some of the top-notch talent in the area, well, look no further. We've got guys going all over the place. We've got players going to Nova. We've got players in this game going to Syracuse. Some really high-level talent on the floor. One of the players who will be playing at the next level, but not basketball, it's Brett Lou Bresky. Now, you'll recognize his name from the baseball team, but he's pretty good on the basketball court as well, putting up 10 points per game on the year, over 3 rebounds, over 3 assists, leads the team in three-point percentage, so a deadly threat from beyond the arc. He's committed to NJIT to play baseball, and we expect him to have a very strong career there.
And he certainly will. I know that the NJIT baseball team, ever since they moved to Division I back in 2007, has had a good deal of success. They, of course, play where the Newark Bears played, down in downtown Newark, so they have an excellent venue, and I know he's going to have a good time playing there.
Lou Bresky, the 6-foot, 185-pound guard, a big member of this team. Now we'll take a look at the rest of the starting five for the Buccaneers. But first, we'll take a look at head coach Joe Mantegna, the guy who makes it all go for this Blair team in his 16th season. Got his bachelor's at Ithaca, and such an outstanding coach. Really, really preaches to his guys to play hard. We'll hear from him at halftime. We talked to him just before the Christmas break, so we'll talk to him at that point in the game. We also have a couple little quips that we'll get from him as the game goes on. We spoke to him about the Blair players who went on to play at the University of Virginia. They had a big game against Notre Dame very recently, went to overtime. Both of those former Blair players playing in the overtime periods. We also talked to him a little bit about how good the competition is here in the area, and that we expect to be a very nice conversation that we have with him. The national anthem about to be played here in Blairstown at Blair Academy, so we'll step aside for just a moment, and we'll be back with the starting lineups after this. It's high school basketball on Strive. The national anthem has concluded here at Blair Academy as we get set for this matchup between the Buccaneers of Blair and the Lions of Pope John. We take a look now at the starting lineup. We talked about Brett Lubreski, the shooting guard, before the break, but they'll have the starting backcourt of Matt Turner and Lubreski alongside the forwards Donovan Wright and Elijah Burns, and the big man in the middle, Tim Delaney, the starting center in this starting lineup for Blair Academy. Jumping center at midcourt for Blair Academy, it'll be Elijah Burns, the 6'9" senior, and he'll jump against Mustafa Jang, the 6'9" senior, headed to Syracuse. Winning the tip, it's Pope John, or rather Blair, and they'll move right to left in their home jerseys. The pull-up jumper quickly, and it won't go. Rebounded by Jang, and we'll move back the other way, left to right. Up top and popping a triple. Jang knocks it down in the early going.
Well, you want to talk about immediate impact. There it is.
30 seconds gone here in the first quarter, and a nice take to the basket that time by Burns for two. Up top, it's Jeremy Rodriguez. He'll work against Burns. Onto the left elbow for James Scott. Scott starts his move to the basket. Tries to flip it out to Rance, and it now around to Jang. He'll let another triple fly, but this time, nothing doing. Matt Turner across the timeline onto the right elbow for Wright. Wright kicks back out, and Delaney will pop a triple. Doesn't go. Scott with the rebound. Back the other way. He'll take it all the way to the basket. Now dump off, and Jang throws it down for two. Matt Turner across midcourt, right to left. Blair in the home white jerseys with the silver numerals. Driving baseline, Lubreski. He kicks out for Burns. Gets it back. A three. No good. Rebounded by Jang. Pope John, the Lions, wearing their road dark blues with the white numerals and lions across the back. James Scott drives baseline. A foul will be called on the floor.
I think one thing that we're going to see today, Sean, is shot efficiency, and they're not going to take shots that – they're going to take a lot of high percentage shots, but they're also going to be very efficient with ball possession and getting down the court quickly and getting a shot off quickly. I know there's no shot clock in high school, and these guys wouldn't need it anyway because probably within under 15 seconds a shot's going to go up. So I'm looking forward to very quick-paced basketball and probably a high-scoring game.
It's Blair ball off the inbound. They'll move right to left here now into the offensive zone. It's Turner. Turner guarded very tightly by James Scott. He'll work onto the far side and give off to Wright. His take to the basket. Knocked away.
Rodriguez with a big block.
Jang up top. The Syracuse-bound big man, the fadeaway jumper, and it won't go. Rebound volleyed about, ends up with Turner. Turner across the timeline. Stops, pops, and cannot get the roll. Jang fighting for the rebound, and they're going to get Delaney on a foul. It'll be the first on Delaney, the second team foul against the Buccaneers. About 5:20 to go here in the first quarter. On the right elbow, it's Raymond Tillis. Gives off to Jang. Jang starts his lefty move to the basket. Good defense from Delaney. Forces a tough shot. It doesn't go. The other way now, it's Turner. Turner, couple of dribble moves, goes baseline. The floater doesn't fall, but Delaney chasing down the offensive rebound off the glass. Good for two. Tim Delaney, his first points of the game. And it's 5-4, just a one-point game. Pope John has the lead in the ball. Pull up, triple for James Scott, won't fall. Rebound to Burns, and he'll give off to Lubreski. Lubreski drives, kicks out. Turner, a three from the left corner, no good. Long rebound out to Damian Rance. He'll go on the offensive, give off to Scott, and Scott hits for 2. 4.5 to play in the first quarter, and Libreski running point. He's guarded by Montilus. Doubled, gives off to Delaney up top, and they swing to right. Delaney again, he'll shoot a 3. Off the front rim, won't go. Montilus with the rebound, working left to right on your computer screen. Into the post now, and stolen away by Delaney, tied up on the floor. Great job sitting down, gets the pass to Matt Turner.
That's a nice effort to stick with it. And I'm surprised more people didn't crowd around and try and get that ball for a jump ball.
Burns on the right elbow for Delaney in the post. He'll go right at Jang, looking for contact. The shot won't go. Saved in bounds, but it ends up with James Scott. Scott will cross midcourt, kick into the right corner, popping a 3. Montilus off the back rim. Burns grabs the board, and ahead to Turner. Turner, pull-up jumper off the backboard, won't go. Rebound to Rance, and he outlets to Scott. Scott with a good move to the basket. He has 4 here in the early going now.
He just waltzed in. I mean, he pretty much went untouched. Let's see if we can take another look here. Blair's got to do a much better job of clogging up the lane there. So as we take a look at the replay here, we'll just see that, you know, we've got 3 guys here, but no one really got in his way. No one was looking to take the charge there, and I think Blair's got to get a little bit more aggressive on their defensive side here. You know, I said earlier that they're going to be taking a lot of shots, and the first quarter is more than halfway done with in the blink of an eye here, and there's been a lot of shots, a lot of missed shots, but a lot of shots. So what Blair needs to do is capitalize on those second chances and get those rebounds down low to get second chance opportunities.
And on that last play, perhaps Tim Delaney being careful, as he already has picked up 1 foul early in the first quarter.
That's true.
Doesn't want to pick up a second one and have to go to the bench. Figures better to give up a couple points and be out on the floor for his team.
Sure, they're only down 5 right now, and it's still pretty early on.
John Noel comes in for the Bucs. He inbounds to Turner. Working right to left, it's now Spencer Osborne also in for the first time. Osborne thought about a long 3. Gives off to Turner. He'll let go a triple, and nothing but net. Matt Turner, his first points of the game. And it's 9-7, still in favor of Pope John. Jeremy Rodriguez running point. He works on Noel, drives to his right, ball out of bounds, and it'll go to Blair. Delaney to inbound, and now a full court press showing from Pope John. A couple of subs come into the game. James Scott comes back in, as does Ray Montilus for the Lions. Delaney gets it into Turner. Turner will work on Matt Zignorski. Right to left in the home white jerseys. Donovan Wright. What a move to the basket. Donovan Wright, an incredible athlete, showing it off there, and some nice ball handling as well.
That's a great move. One for the highlight reel. We'll see that later on during a break, but an awesome move to get the layup, and I think that's what they needed. They were able to show that they could knock down a 3, and now they're able to show they can penetrate down low.
Right elbow for Mike Zignorski. Into the post for Jang. They give off to Matt Zignorski. Into Scott down low, and Scott hits the layup. He has 6, leading all scorers. The other way in the lane. It's going to end up knocked out of bounds.
Home crowd doesn't like that one. I don't blame them. I thought it went off the foot.
I'd agree with you, Derek. That should be Blair ball. But back the other way. Here come the Lions moving left to right. Montilus will run point and give off to Matt Zignorski. To his brother Mike. Up top for Scott. Against the zone, pull-up jumper, no good off the back rim, and a good board from Spencer Osborne. Osborne ahead for Turner. Turner Working quickly, gives off to Burns, and Burns with a good move to the basket. This Blair team really finding some open lanes where there's not a ton of space.
Yeah, they're able to cut right through, and what's allowing them to do that is really crisp passing.
Montilus driving baseline, kicks a three from Zignorski, and it won't go. Rebounded Scott. Scott giving into the post, knocked away, and a shot blocked by Elijah Burns. Now Turner on the break is fouled hard, and he'll get to the line for a pair.
That's an excellent block. Way to stay with it, because I think if we take a look back, who was it that blocked that, Sean?
That was Elijah Burns that blocked that shot.
And I think if we take a look, he's actually facing backwards in the play here. So let's take a look down low. And yeah, you know, he just kind of stuck with it and pinned him underneath the backboard. So that's a really good job by him.
Yeah, and a very good job to stay vertical. He could have very easily reached the arms out, and that's where you get called for a foul. But if he stays straight up and down as he did, not going to get called for a foul, and he does block the shot.
That's right. That's a nice play by him. Good heads-up play.
The other way, Turner goes 1 for 2 from the line. Just under a minute to play in the first quarter, and Blair has taken a 12-11 lead. Ray Montilus will run point for Scott in the right corner, nearly stolen away by Osborne. Into the post for Jang. Jang kicking for Matt Zignorski, ends up ball volleyed about. They'll say it went out of bounds. Last touched by the Buccaneers.
They'll switch the call.
Oh, they changed it.
Yeah. Would have seen a riot on our hands if they didn't change that. In Blairstown.
Lubreski running point. Guarded by Ray Montilus. He'll give off to Burns. Burns for Zedric Farrell. Now Burns up top. 15 seconds to play in the first quarter. Burns starts his move around a screen. Kicks out. Osborne, a three. No good. Missed long. Now the other way. The Lions, a pull-up jumper for Montilus at the buzzer, won't go. And that brings us to the end of quarter number 1. A 12-11 lead for Blair in the first. We'll be back after this. It's high school basketball here on Strive. (12-11) the score. Blair leading it by 1 over Pope John in the early going. Just about set to start the second quarter of action alongside Derek Raymond. I'm Sean Learn as we take a look at the upcoming Blair Buccaneers schedule. A couple of big games coming up, and then, of course, the playoffs. And you can catch quite a few of those playoff games right here on Strive, the Maple Championship. You can get that one right here on the Strive Network.
And before we start the second quarter here, we talked about Wright's move early on in the game, and let's just take another look at that. And you can see he's pretty far, right down at the elbow, and just a nice quick crossover move, able to get the ball around, nicely. That's the only word I can use for it. I mean, it was a beautiful looking move.
And Donovan Wright, a guard, but he's 6'6" and plays even bigger. He's got long arms. He's very athletic. So he plays much bigger than his size. And 6'6" is not too small of a size anyway.
No, not at all.
Second quarter underway. Pope John with the ball first. They move left to right on your computer screen. Now inbounding from the baseline. For Pope John, it's Damian Rance. Into James Scott. Up top for Raymond Tillis, and he's guarded by Brett Lubreski. Our Strive spotlight. Now for Jang in the post, and just ripped right away by Elijah Burns. Very active defensively. Now Osborne, a pull-up jumper the other way, and it's good. Osborne's first points of the game, and it's a 3-point lead for the Buccaneers. Up top for Jang, thought about a three, starts his drive. The lefty shot off the backboard, no good. Osborne with the rebound, now ahead to Burns. Up top, Osborne, now Lubreski. Some chance of overrated, talking about Jang from this Blair crowd.
Talk
and
about
a
a
dunk
pass
by Burns, throwing it down for two. 16-11 Blair on a run. James Scott, the pull-up jumper from the right foul line, extended, doesn't go, but a foul will be called on the rebound. It's going to go against Pope John. The crowd very much in the game here at Blair Academy. And you can feel it. You can feel the momentum in the Buccaneers' favor.
Oh, can you ever? I mean, this crowd just immediately lights up.
Osborne's triple won't go, but he chases down his own rebound, gets it to Burns. Now for Osborne up top. Lubreski wide open for three, but no good. Rebound volleyed about, ends up with James Scott of the Lions. And it is a foul, I believe. So it'll go to Blair. 6:23 to play in the first half. A 5-point lead for the Buccaneers. The home squad here against Pope John. And they get it to Delaney. Delaney to Osborne, but can't hit the layup.
Man.
The other way, now Raymond Tillis.
That's a beautiful inbound play.
Scott thought about a long three there, instead gave off to Jang up top, and now Rance on the left elbow. Osborne all over him defensively. Scott starts to drive, and it'll be a foul call. This one will go against Brett Lubreski. So inbounding from the near sideline, it'll be Damian Rance of the Lions. Into Montillis, nearly stolen away by Zedric Farrell. Now for Jang in the post, going right at Delaney, and he traveled with the basketball. Delaney is playing some inspired post defense right now on the very highly touted Mustafa Jang.
He knew he had one job tonight, and that was to shut Jang down, and he's done an awesome job so far.
Score remains 16-11 in favor of the Buccaneers. They move right to left in their home white jerseys. Up top, it's Farrell. Right elbow for Turner. Into the post, and it's Delaney. Doubled immediately, but able to find his man as they swing out. Osborne, a three, good! Just like that, an 8-point lead for the Buccaneers. Scott the other way, up top for Jeremy Rodriguez. Now Raymond Tillis. Kicks out. Scott, a three. Misses everything, an air ball. Delaney with the rebound, gets it to Farrell. Farrell able to throw it off of Scott. Good heads-up play by Zedric Farrell. Just over 5 minutes to play here in the second quarter of action. It's Osborne up top. Left elbow for right. He works up top, and a foul will be called. It'll go against Pope John. So Blair will inbound from the sideline. A timeout called by Pope John. Probably a good time to take one, as they've struggled quite a bit here in the early going. Just under 5 minutes to play in the first half, and it's 19-11 Blair. Blair coach Joe Mantegna, we were able to talk to him a little bit before Christmas break. We talked to him about the level of basketball here in Prep A.
We're playing against pros, 5-6 times a year. I think what it also does for the guys that aren't going to be pros is it makes them understand what a pro looks like, or what a Division I scholarship player looks like. It allows them to easier accept who they are in the greater world of basketball. I think that's a great lesson. So many of us that went to small high schools and didn't play against great players like I did all the time, you can get an inflated sense of yourself because the competition isn't great. It's almost impossible in the Maple League and the Prep A to get an inflated feeling about who you are when you're playing against Isaiah Briscoe or Roselle, or you're playing against, whether it was Luol Deng or Charlie Villanueva back in the day. So, I think having an idea about that is helpful. And overall, I'm proud of what the Prep A has become. The level of basketball is unbelievable. I mean, I have guys now that don't start for me that would have been some of my better players back in the early 2000s, and they can't even start on our team now. So the level's high.
Coach Mantegna talking about some pretty impressive names that have played here in Prep A. He mentions Isaiah Briscoe of Roselle, who was just named to the McDonald's All-American game.
Yeah, Coach Mantegna has had his hands full with quite a number of talented players, and it just shows the kind of support that he has around him with the other coaching staff and his players willing to learn. So a good job by Coach.
Into the post and a layup good. Jeremy Rodriguez hits his first points of the game. Cuts into the lead for Blair. It's a 6-point deficit for Pope John. And now Mantegna is going to take a timeout of his own. No, correction. They'll actually say there was a foul.
I didn't see much going on there, but
goes against Pope John, and quickly Delaney will inbound for the Buccaneers. Moving right to left, Matt Turner will run point. Turner up top, goes around a screen. Guarded man-to-man by Montilus, and another foul called. We've seen quite a few fouls in this game.
Yeah, off
the referee's
not
letting anything go.
Off the ball as well. So, the referees have their eyes open here. They're watching everything right now. And I believe that one was on Jang, and he wasn't too happy after the call.
Just his first foul of the game. But the 6th team foul already on Pope John. Turner goes baseline, but blocked from behind by Jeremy Rodriguez. On the break the other way, Scott stripped away by Wright, and they're going to get him for a foul.
What a block. That's all I can really say about that. What a block. You could have heard that one from a mile away.
That was a beautiful block by Rodriguez. So it'll be Pope John ball the other way. Into the game, Spencer Osborne comes back for Blair. Donovan Wright will take a seat. Matt Zignorski will inbound for Pope John. And throws it right through the hands of James Scott. They'll go back to Blair. That's just a flat-out missed pass. Scott just let it go through his hands.
Mental error right there. I think he was looking for a deflection off the Blair defender, but went just right through his hands.
Elijah Burns doubled at midcourt, will be fouled. No, before the foul, they'll say there was a timeout called. Coach Mantegna wants a timeout here. And in the early going, 19-13 the score. The Blair Buccaneers hold the lead. We'll keep it right here for this timeout. And Derek, I have been very impressed with the way that Blair has been able to get to the basket as a group. Now, not every shot at the rim has been finished, but just blowing by defenders, they've done a nice job.
Yeah, they've done an excellent job able to thread around defenders, and I think it's been the passing that really opens it up. And I'll show you an example of it right here. I think we have one loaded up right now. But Osborne's been making some great threes, and actually we're going to go to live action. But they're really taking advantage of driving hard down low and kicking it out. And in order for that to be successful, you've got to hit your shots, and Osborne's been able to do that so far.
Alongside Derek Raymond, I'm Sean Lerman bringing you Pope John at Blair. And an offensive foul will be called here. They're going to get Elijah Burns for hooking. ball will go back to the Pope John Lions. Rodriguez inbounds. And Matt Turner won't face any, or correction, Raymond Tillis will be guarded by Matt Turner. But no pressure in the backcourt and a miscommunication on the pass into the post, but it's going to be a foul against Blair. Again, we've seen very few plays go by without a foul call.
All of a sudden now we've got a lot of bodies hitting the ground and referees figuring this one out.
That'll be the 7th team foul against the Buccaneers. And as a few subs come into the game, the John Noel for the Bucs. Out comes Tim Delaney. At the line, it's Raymond Tillis to shoot 1 and 1. 3 minutes, 43 seconds left in this first half. Montillis hits the first. His first point of the game. Couple of sets of brothers on this Lions team, Ray and Ruben Montillis, as well as Mike and Matt Zignorski. And Montillis hits them both. Blair Academy working right to left, and the pass stolen away by James Scott, but he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, that was about 2 inches away from being an excellent full court press.
The official right on it.
So is Coach Montegna. He was pointing that out before he even hit.
He had a pretty good view.
Yeah, he did. He was sitting right in front of it.
Referees having a bit of a conversation here. Not 100% sure what about.
No, I'm not sure what the call is, but Coach Mantegna is always fired up, so can't tell if it's good or bad, and I won't speculate.
Spencer Osborne open on the right elbow as they cross midcourt with the pass up top for Burns. Osborne, a three off the back rim, no good. Lubreski trying to get the rebound, but ripped away by James Scott. Ahead to Jeremy Rodriguez. Rodriguez with a couple of loping steps, and a blocking foul will be called. They're going to get Elijah Burns on the foul. This will send Rodriguez to the charity stripe.
Yeah, I think we'll see that Burns just couldn't get his feet set. We'll take a look right now, but I don't know. That's tough, especially with how Rodriguez stepped in. I don't know. If I'm Blair, I'm not happy about that.
Probably one of those 50-50 calls.
Right.
Could go either way.
Right.
Looking at the replay and having the benefit thereof, probably should have gone Blair's way, as there's an airballed foul shot by Jeremy Rodriguez on the 1-and-1.
Don't see that very often.
But the pass the other way will end up a bit too high for Spencer Osborne out of bounds.
And this is where the full court press starts to rear its ugly head for teams trying to overcome it, is that you just make mistakes. It forces the team to execute in every aspect of bringing the ball down the court. And we just saw a pass airmailed trying to overcome that press.
Zignorski to Scott, left elbow three, no good. Skying for the rebound. Brett Lubreski got up there. Ahead to Spencer Osborne. Now it's Lubreski. He starts his drive at the foul line, getting the basket. The left hand won't go. The putback, no good from Delaney, but a foul called on that putback. And I believe we'll see Tim Delaney go to the line for a pair. Delaney has 2 in the game. He's not attempted any foul shots as of yet. The first one good. (20-15), a 5-point lead for Blair. it feels like the Lions have been starting to make a run, but Blair just continually holding them off after each charge.
And you know what helps there, sorry to interrupt, is that they're making their foul shots. You know, the majority of them, those are free points, and every one of those matters. Down the line, you know, at the end of the game, it's going to only come down to a few points, it looks like. So foul shot efficiency is super important.
James Scott, wildly out of control, but bailed out by a foul. No, they did not bail him out with a foul. They just said he went out of bounds, and frankly, that's the correct call. I thought they were going to bail him out there.
Hey, whether it was out of bounds or Blair took a charge here, he was not in control. So Blair ball.
Matt Turner, running point. He'll cross over midcourt, guarded by Montilus. To Lubreski, guarded by Mike Zignorski. Kicking out for Osborne. Now Turner again. Blair taking its time here offensively. No reason to rush. Turner has it taken away, but a foul will be called. We'll stay with Blair. It'll actually be an opportunity at the charity stripe for Turner to shoot 1-1. Turner has 4 in the game. The 4th leading scorer for a Blair team that really spreads around its opportunities.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of people touch the ball. A lot of people have scoring opportunities.
Turner knocks them both down, and just like that, he's the leading scorer on the day. Back the other way, Montilus goes to the lane and can't hit. But he's fouled, and he'll go to the line. .139 to play here in the second quarter of action as Montilus hits the first. It's a matchup between two of the premier teams in New Jersey. Blair at 14-4 on the year, 14-2 for Pope John, as Montilus knocks them both down.
Yeah, Sean, we were talking before the game started, just marveling at the quality of basketball New Jersey puts out as we see another ball, inbound pass airmailed. Just a little too high. That full court press really forces you to execute to a T.
That pass probably gets there if Tim Delaney's passing to himself
Yeah,
at 6'8", but a bit too high for Osborne, standing just 6'4". Jang lets go for a long jumper, won't fall. Osborne with the board. Ahead to Farrell. Now Turner on the near side. Drives into the lane, pull-up jumper from just beyond the foul line, hits! Montilus for Matt Zagorski. Looking to get it to Jang in the post, can't find him. Delaney absolutely fronting Jang down there. Now it's Mike Zignorski, and they finally get it to Jang. Jang pushing at Delaney, who does not give an inch, and it ends up with Blair. What beautiful defense down there by Tim Delaney. Now driving, Matt Turner, an open three, won't go. Osborne's put back, no good, but Osborne comes up with it, steals it away from Jang. His pass unable to be handled by Noel, and the other way, the alley-oop for Rodriguez won't go. Taken away by Noel.
With 30 seconds left on the clock, Blair's just got to try and maintain possession here, not allow Pope John to get another possession and a possible shot, maintain a 7-point lead. And we'll see a foul on Blair. That's going the other way for the last 20 seconds of the half.
So we'll walk down the other side of the floor. The Lions will inbound. They'll have 20.3 up on the clock. Charlie O'Connor into the game for the first time for the Lions. He'll run point. Gives off to Jang. Jang drives to the basket and hits. Mustafa Jang for two, but still time, no, taken away by Zignorski. Lets it go from half court, no good. And that will bring us to halftime. 24-19, the Blair Buccaneers go into the half with a lead. It was an exciting first half in which initially Pope John had the advantage, but Blair came back quickly in the second half of the first quarter and has not given up the lead since. 24-19, the score at the half. Now, we talked about it in the pregame, but we were able to chat with Coach Mantegna of the Buccaneers a little bit around the Christmas break time. We have that interview in its entirety right here on Strive.
We've been kind of learning all winter this year about what maybe we underappreciated about last year. That team was very old, 9 seniors. They had logged a lot of wins and they'd gone through a lot of hardship together. And I think I may have undervalued how sort of game toughened and game ready they were by the time they were at the end of their senior year. The veteran leadership we had from that group and the trust level that they had built up between them was a real separating factor, and it's something we're still working on with this team. We thought we'd be a little further ahead with this team at this point, and we're not there yet. This group has a lot to prove. We did a lot of talking in the fall about how good we thought we could be, and then we've had a few injuries and we've not been nearly the team we want to be. So by the time you guys see us, we'll see if we can kind of get this group to gel and be further along. We're disappointed so far with our first semester, but obviously there's 7 weeks to go and we're trying to get the ship righted right now. Elijah Burns is a tremendous leader. He's our foreman, and this is his second year at Blair. He's off to Notre Dame next year. He's been kind of our vocal leader. And I think Brett Lebreski, who's a 4-year guy for us and played great in the state championship last year. He's won 3 baseball state championships already. He's been a real sort of heart and soul leader of our team. He's the guy that just brings it and competes every minute of every game, and he's becoming more verbal as well. Those 2 guys need to sort of lead us. It's been great for John Noel and our postgraduate Spencer Osborne. They're guys who started. Spencer started every game, and John started multiple games and played huge minutes. They've both been recruited to go play at Emory in Atlanta next year, so their college stuff has worked out. John has really paid his dues. He's a 4-year guy here. He's been here since a freshman. He got hurt as a sophomore. He didn't play much as a junior. And for him to get to play so many minutes here in the first semester has been great for his development, and ultimately will be really good for our team because he's gotten some real game minutes under his belt. I think we've underachieved to this point, and I am completely unwilling to change my very high expectations for this team. And I think the kids have a very high expectation for themselves this year. We talked about it last year that we expected to win a state championship, and we did. And the expectation is that this team can be even better than that team. Now, we have a lot of work to do, and we have not proven that on the court yet. So right now, that is just strictly talk. And when you see us here in another week, we'll be playing the number 2 team in the state. And if we don't bring it against St. Anthony's, we'll be humbled again because they're they're the best coach team in New Jersey and a very talented team to boot. But our expectations have not lowered. We're disappointed right now, but our goals are lofty, and we're going to push forward. And it's a marathon, not a sprint. And by February, we want to be there.
Back out at Blair Academy, it's halftime, and the Buccaneers lead it 24-19 over the Pope John Lions in a huge matchup here in New Jersey. As we take a look at some of the scoring from that first half, we'll start with the road team in this one. The Lions, they were led by their big man, Mustafa Jang, in the first half. He had 7 points. It was 6 for James Scott, 4 points for Ray Montillis, and 2 for Jeremy Rodriguez to round out the 19 points for Pope John. On the home side of things, a big explosion of an offensive first half for Matt Turner. Did very well in the second quarter. He has 8 to lead all scorers. 6 points for Elijah Burns, 5 for Spencer Osborne, 3 for Tim Delaney, and 2 for Donovan Wright in that first half to make up the 24 points for Blair Academy. There were some very exciting moments of that first half, Derek.
And let's take a look at the most exciting one, in my opinion, and I think the crowds as well. It was the dunk, the big throwdown by Elijah Burns, and here we see it, just able to muscle his way in, finds an open look, and jams it home to the delight of the home crowd. We also had some other great looks. How about this steal down low? Blair showing their defensive prowess. Just able, I think that was Burns again, who's able to get the steal and then kick out to Osborne for the big three. He's been doing that all game. And how about another one from Osborne? And this is what I was talking about earlier. They're passing, getting it down low, then kicking it out. Able to execute and make those threes. And then we saw Turner score a couple of points here. That short little pull-up jumper, not really seen. Actually, that wasn't that short. Another 2 feet, and that's worth another point. But we don't really see the pull-up jumper all that much anymore. And as we look forward to the start of the second half here in just a couple minutes, I'm saying what Blair has to do to keep this lead is continue their string of persistent and quick passing, and also their annoying defense, their ability to just keep on going and pressing and really clog up the middle. I thought that Jang would have more of an impact. I know he's the leader in points right now for the Pope John Lions, but he hasn't had the impact that I was expecting.
Now, Tim Delaney in particular has done a phenomenal job of guarding the big man Mustafa Jang in that first half. Now, we talked to Coach Mantegna a little while ago. There's a little bit more that we didn't show you just quite yet. Coach Mantegna talking about a couple of his guys playing at the next level at the University of Virginia. Here he is.
I love to send these guys to places where they're going to continue their growth as players. When you send kids to play for Tony Bennett at Virginia, for example, you know, Mariel and Mike Tobey have made such great gains and gains in their games and in their bodies of work. Have really, you know, Toby has a chance to be an NBA player himself, and Mariel's playing huge minutes as a freshman. Yeah, it's a great feeling, you know, and it's more of a feeling of I'm blessed to have been able to coach them, though. You know, those guys were both very talented when they arrived at Blair. I mean, it wasn't like they couldn't walk and chew gum when they got here, and I turned them into ACC players. So, you know, I'm very blessed to get to coach the likes of those guys.
just about set for the start of the second half here at Blair Academy. Alongside Derek Raymond, I'm Sean Lerman here on the Strive Network. And as we get set for the start of this second half, the Blair Buccaneers leading it over the Pope John Lions 24-19 in an eventful first half that saw really the complete shutdown of Mustafa Jang. He did have 7 points, but neutralized in the rebounding area, neutralized as far as he didn't block any shots. He hit 1 3-pointer on the first play of the game, but other than that has done very little.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I forgot all about that first initial shot. When that hit, just seconds into the game, I thought he was really going to take control and be a huge threat to this Blair Academy basketball team here. But it turns out that after that shot, they were able to shut him down nicely, and he only had 4 more points the rest of the half. So a good job, and you mentioned it, Tim Delaney able to really shadow him nicely and play strong against him.
And it's hard to blame Delaney for allowing that 3 in the beginning of the game. You're going to say, hey, you know what? He's their big threat down low. We'll let him shoot from beyond the arc if he wants.
That's right.
Working left to right in the second half, Matt Turner runs point for the Buccaneers with a 24-19 lead. To Donovan Wright, into Delaney in the post, and good over Jang. Doing it on the offensive end as well, Tim Delaney for 2. Jang up top, drives, kicks out for Rance. Back to Jang, left baseline. Starts to back down Delaney, and Delaney strips it away with the steal. My goodness.
Delaney all over him.
Right, baseline, big dunk with the one-hander. The other way, it's Scott. Onto the right elbow, Rance. Up top, Scott again. Now Rodriguez. He works on Burns. That's Montilus. Looking to drive, kicking baseline. Up top, Scott had a foot on the line. It's a long 2, doesn't matter as it doesn't go. Lubreski fighting for the rebound. Jang steals it away, gets it to Montilus, ends up out of bounds, and it'll be last touched by the Lions. Good hustle play by Jang, but unable to come up with it. So it'll be Blair ball moving left to right.
What an exciting 15 seconds.
Right. Lubreski to Wright, who has it stripped away by Montilus. Montilus on the break, up with the left hand, but too strong. Goes out of bounds. Last touch by Damian Rance, and that time Montilus just didn't hit. Missed the layup. Had the opportunity, but credit to Donovan Wright for getting back on defense and contesting. Delaney inbounds to Lubreski against a full court press. To Turner. Into the lane looking for Burns. It's knocked out of bounds. And it'll stay with the Buccaneers. Into Delaney. Now Burns up top. Right elbow. Turner won't go. Rebounded by Montilus. He'll go all the way, give off to Jang. The layup, no good. Jang really off. And could have called a foul on Jang out of bounds as he kind of slammed into Turner, but no harm, no foul, and clearly not intentional. He and Turner hug it out a bit after the play.
Yeah, despite the bemoans of the crowd, that was not intentional, and just some hard basketball and some contact.
2 minutes into the second half. And Pope John has yet to put up any points here in this third quarter.
No, not yet, but you can cut the energy in here with a knife. Everyone's on the edge of their seat, and the crowd's very into it.
Rodriguez on the right side, now for Jang, baseline. Jang works on Delaney. Delaney gives him no room, forces a fadeaway jumper, short, misses everything on the air ball. Turner ahead to Lubreski. Lubreski, open layup, and no good. Delaney tries to chase down the rebound, but it ends up with Jang. Ahead to Montilus. Montilus into the lane, gives off Rodriguez. Rodriguez traveled with the basketball.
Sure did.
Delaney into Lubreski. Guarded by James Scott. Now pass stolen away by Rodriguez, and Rodriguez dunks it home. First points of the second half for Pope John. They trail 28-21.
An emphatic dunk.
Into Turner for Blair. Now Delaney as they look to break this full court press, and Turner loses it out of bounds. Bit of a miscommunication. Tried to maybe move a little bit before he had full possession, like a receiver trying to get the extra yards after the catch. It'll prompt a timeout. This one called by Blair. It'll be a 30-second timeout. So we'll keep it right here. The score 28-21.
Catch my breath.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not even 3 minutes through the third quarter here, and a lot's happened. I mean, there's been a couple of different momentum shifts here. And I think we saw at the very beginning Pope John kind of, I don't want to say abandoning the full court press, but being fairly lax in its application. And their head coach was just screaming at the side for pressure. I mean, Coach Hassan was absolutely animated, hands up, screaming pressure. And as soon as their players responded to that, we saw 2 turnovers right off the bat. One of them resulted in the dunk, and the other resulted in Blair throwing it away. So again, Blair has to keep their head above water here in this in trying to overcome the full court press.
Damian Rance inbounds on the near side. Now on the far side, it's Montilus into the post as it's stolen away by Delaney. A foul will be called. And it's actually going to go against Pope John. I thought they were going to get Delaney for reaching, but it was a foul away from the ball against the Lions.
I've seen a number of those tonight.
Referees with eyes everywhere, apparently. Stolen away, and Rodriguez with the two-hand jam.
That's 3 buckets or 3 possessions in the last few minutes as a result of the full court press.
Burns.
And it doesn't go.
Oh, a spectacular attempted dunk, almost rattled in.
He started that dunk from around the free throw line. So yeah, he wasn't going to get contact with the rim there. He was going to throw that in from about 2 feet away.
Oh, man. That would have been monstrous.
Yes, it would.
Either way, it'll be Elijah Burns at the line to shoot 2. He hits the first.
I can't stress how important these foul shots are because we've seen how quickly both teams can go into the bonus here. So it's very important to hit these shots.
And Burns knocks them both down. Now tied with Matt Turner as Blair's leading scorer. They lead 30-23. Montilus at the top of the key works on Lubreski for Jang. Rodriguez in the post. One-handed pass. Rance, a 3. Good. His first points of the game. Just a 4-point lead now for Blair, and it's knocked away by Rodriguez. Rodriguez, sort of a similar player in a lot of ways to Elijah Burns. A big man with some guard skills, and you see them guarding each other. Probably about as an exciting and fun matchup as you can hope for in this game, other than, of course, Delaney Jang. Delaney doubled, but able to dribble across the timeline himself. Beautiful ball handling, gives off to Burns, who can't hit. The other way, it's Rance. Ahead for Montilus. Corner, Rodriguez drives baseline, no-look pass out to Rance, nearly stolen away by Lubreski, and they'll move up top for Jank. A long 3, no good off the back rim. Rebound ends up with Burns. Under 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. It's a 4-point lead for the Buccaneers. Lubreski up top, dribbles it off his foot, and it ends up on the right elbow. Up top again for Lubreski. Now Donovan Wright, guarded by Rance, starts his move. Goes to his left hand, and the reverse layup won't fall. Matt Turner chasing down the offensive board. Gets baseline, gives off, and a huge one-handed dunk by Elijah Burns.
That's how you do it. That's how to stick with it. You're able to keep the play alive through a rebound and execute some passes to get that open lane, and a big dunk from Burns.
Montilus up top, right corner Rance. Can't get it to Jang in the post, instead gives off to James Scott at the top of the key. Scott drives and a foul called. They'll get Lubreski, riding him a bit there. Just the first foul on Blair in this second half. They went 5 minutes and 5 seconds without a single foul. Pretty impressive. Inbounding from the far sideline. And it's in to Montilus of Pope John. Blocked away, and it'll be a jump ball. I'm not sure whether you credit Burns or Delaney with the block. If this was football, it'd be a half sack each. They were both there. Rance to throw it in. Up top for Jang. Rodriguez. And now Montilus around a screen. Guarded by Farrell. Rance, two-handed pass for Montilus. He goes, and with the right hand, left side, no good. The putback wouldn't have counted anyway. He's fouled. Montilus with 4 points will go to the line looking for 2 more. And looking to cut into a 6-point Blair lead. No good on the first. Into the game, John Noel. Elijah Burns, a well-earned respite.
Yeah, we're going to want to save him for the fourth quarter. He's able to make it happen. And a little early off the blocks.
The lane violation goes against Pope John. So it'll be Blair basketball. They move left to right on your computer screen. Spencer Osborne to throw it in. Finds Farrell. Back to Osborne. Guarded tightly by Zignorski. Ahead for Turner. Turner guarded by Matt Zignorski. And now Osborne. Turner guarded by Matt Zignorski. Dribbles it off his foot out of bounds. Lions ball. The Lions wearing their road blues with white numerals, Lions across the back. Blair in their home whites, silver numerals. Zignorski drives into trouble. And yeah, you said it, Derek. That's
I love calling that out.
It's about as clear as can be. Easiest call the refs will make all night.
Yeah.
Inbound as they swing over to Turner. And now Zedric Farrell. Right elbow Osborne. Drives baseline. Got himself into some trouble. But he was bailed out. They're going to get a foul on Mike Zignorski. It's the third foul of the second half on the Lions. In for Turner. Now Farrell up top. Working on Matt Zignorski. Farrell drives, thought he was fouled. Kicks out for Noel. Noel into the lane, off the leg of Scott. It's kickball. It's about 1:20 to play in the third quarter. Back into the game, Elijah Burns with 10 leads all scorers. Out of the game, Tim Delaney. He has 5. But his contributions have been largely on the defensive end tonight. Farrell to Burns at the foul line. Backs out towards midcourt. Working on Jang. He'll go right at him. Crossover, gets by him, dumps off, and slamming it down, Noel.
Elijah Burns burning some guys tonight.
Jang at the top of the key. Gives off. Matt Zignorski a three off the front rim. Doesn't go. Jang chasing down the rebound. It ends up out of bounds. Flipped high off the wall by Mike Zignorski. Remains an 8-point lead for the Bucs.
Wow, they're going to get a foul on that one? That was bailed out. That could have been traveling. But either way, that'll go against Pope John Blair basketball with 36 seconds to go. I cannot believe Elijah Burns right now. He's playing outside of his own mind.
He absolutely is, and a 5-second violation will be called here. Coach Mantegna unhappy with his guys not getting it in and not calling the timeout when they couldn't.
That's a mental mistake right there. And if there's nothing Mantegna hates more, it's a mental mistake.
That's the preventable kind.
Yeah.
Physical mistakes happen, but mental mistakes shouldn't.
Yeah, Turner's going to get a stern talking to about that one.
You can only say so much to the guy who's been your top scorer in a game, though.
That's right. He's just going to let him know that, you know, he can't do that. He's got to keep his head in the game here. Know the situation as a kick out, and it's good.
Spencer Osborne left all alone in the right corner. 10 seconds to play in the quarter. Rodriguez, left sideline, fires a pass, handled by Zignorski. Spin move, nearly blocked by Delaney. No good on the layup anyway. And that'll bring us to the end of the third. We'll go to the fourth with the score. Blair, 37. Pope John, 26. Back with the final quarter of action after this here on Strive. Back out here for the fourth quarter. Blair leads, and we have quite a few highlights back from that third, Derek.
Yeah, how about this crossover dunk? I mean, Elijah Burns has been everywhere tonight doing everything. And how about this move to get by their number one pass and a big dunk? Elijah Burns really able to make it happen. And then, of course, Osborne. He's been the three-man all night. How about driving in again, kicking it out low? Good as gold with a look back to his defender.
As we start the fourth quarter, it'll be Blair basketball. They hold the 37-26 lead, and we're underway in the fourth. Matt Turner on the floor with Brett Lubreski, Tim Delaney, Jean Noel, and Spencer Osborne. That's number 4, Turner up top for Osborne. Now Delaney in the high post, backing down. Kicks out for Lubreski, back reposting Delaney. Fires out again. Osborne thought about a three. Beautiful passing from Blair leads to a three from Lubreski. His first points of the game, but their big ones, gives a 14-point lead to the Buccaneers.
Everyone getting involved tonight, and that was Osborne to Lubreski. The three guys passing it around, giving each other the rock here.
Beautiful layup by James Scott the other way. Cuts the deficit to 12 for Pope John. Osborne Right elbow for Turner. Working baseline, pull-up jumper, the fadeaway doesn't go, but an offensive rebound. Delaney kicks out. Osborne wide open, good!
I mean, he knows as soon as that leaves his fingertips what it's going to be.
Osborne with a game-high 11. Now Zignorski the other way, can't hit the open three. Turner on the break. Has it taken away.
Osborne almost
Montilus.
making a nice defensive play.
Layup good for Matt Zignorski, his first points of the game. 43-30. Blair still holds the lead. Double digits here in the fourth over Pope John. Right elbow, Turner. West side. And it's Osborne up top, Lubreski. Lubreski drives, gets past his man, kicks out. Matt Turner, wide open. No good, and a foul called on the floor. It's going to go against Pope John on the rebound. It'll be Blair basketball as Delaney and Osborne take a seat. Wright comes in along with Burns. Burns will throw it in from the baseline left. 6:02 to play. That's Lubreski up top on the left side. Drives, get past his man, and a beautiful finger roll from Brett Lubreski. All 5 of his points coming in the fourth. Montilus kicks out. Rance up top, Rodriguez. Rodriguez off balance, his pass stolen away by Burns. Now Turner. He'll go all the way to the basket, and a finger roll of his own gets the roll. He's into double figures, and we have an injured player down on the floor. Montilus slow to get up for Pope John, and he's helped up by a couple of Buccaneers, Turner and Burns. And you know what, Derek? That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
It can be a hard-fought game. It can be back and forth. There can be a little contact here and there. But these are still high school kids. And, when you see an act like that, that's great coaching. That's the coaching that builds good people.
That's right. You want them to be good character players, and that's, I know, the Coach Stone, the athletic director and the baseball coach here, he wants to build good characters and strong-willed individuals that have good morals and values, and I think that's an example of that.
Rodriguez up top, right elbow, and it's Zignorski. Drives, cut off. Gives off to Rodriguez. Pull-up jumper for Scott, good. Scott in double figures, the only man in double figures for Pope John, trailing by 15. Ahead to Wright, bounce pass, Noel, blocked but fouled.
If you're able to get through and slice through that full court press here, it leaves the basket basically unguarded, or maybe one guy down there trying to do all the work on the defensive end. And fortunately, Pope John defender was able to stymie but foul and send him to the line.
First shot, good by Noel. He has 3. The first 2 were pretty spectacular on a dunk where he took the pass from Burns. And he'll look to go 2 for 2 from the line here. He does, extends the lead to 17.
As Delaney checks back in, Turner will have a seat.
Matt Zignorski crosses the timeline, gives off to Jang. For Rance, guarded tightly by Donovan Wright. Now Jang on the left baseline. Works on Delaney. Got stuck behind the basket, gave off to Rodriguez, and he's fouled. Jeremy Rodriguez with 6 points in this one. He'll be at the line shooting 2. We'll take this moment once again to look at the upcoming Blair basketball schedule. right after this first shot as Rodriguez hits. A couple of big games coming up. Team has the next 3 days off. Always good to get some recovery time this time of year. Unable to hit the second. Wright the other way, passes for Lubreski, but a foul will be called. Donovan Wright, the charge, doesn't like the call.
Yeah, and he's arguing that he was catching the pass in the air. And, you know, nowhere really for him to go. And
no good on the jumper from Scott. Rebound ends up with Delaney. He hands off to Farrell. Cedric Farrell quickly across the timeline to Lubreski. He goes baseline. Kicks out. Delaney, mid-range jumper, no good. Rebound to Rodriguez. No look pass for Jang. Nearly went past him, and Jang traveled. Donovan Wright will come out of the game. Matt Turner back in. Now they'll actually bring out Cedric Farrell. Wright will stick in the game here. Inbound goes to Delaney. Back to Burns. Ahead across the timeline to Lubreski, to Turner. And the dunk knocked away. Wright can't finish. The other way. A jumper from Scott off the backboard won't go, and Rodriguez is going to get called for over the back. He doesn't like the call, but it's as clear as day.
I guess not. Well, no, no. That's the right call there, Sean.
Absolutely.
Everyone else thought otherwise. They went up to the line here, expecting some free throws, but no, you had it right. That's why you're the best.
Well, thank you, Derek. I appreciate your kind words. You're a great wire.
Thank
It'll
you.
be Brett Lubreski at the line, shooting 1-1, as that's the 7th team foul against the Lions. Lubreski can't hit. Ball ends up out of bounds, and it'll go to the Lions. Jang will inbound as Spencer Osborne comes back into the game. Lubreski gets a rest.
Lubreski really making the most of his time out on the court.
Thinking about a three, Zignorski instead drives, kicks to Jang, and it's waved off. A foul on the floor. It'll be a push. They'll get Delaney.
As Noel checks back in, out comes Delaney. Noel will probably get the big task of guarding Jang. As Burns caught a little elbow to the face there, wrestling with Jang.
Zignorski to throw it in, finds Jang. In the offensive zone, baseline, jumper, no good. Jang has not been hitting the jump shots today. He's been forced into some bad ones.
Yeah.
But even with Delaney out of the game, nice post defense that time. Burns up top. Knocked away. Montilus on the break. The layup, no, yes, it gets the roll.
And we're getting a little handsy here.
Jay Hassan, livid. Pleading to the referee for a call.
Okay. Well,
He doesn't get the call. It's Blair ball. Just over 3 minutes to play in the game. Burns will inbound from the baseline. He can run the baseline as he gets it in to Turner. Turner back to Burns. Spin move ahead, Lubreski. Up top for Turner.
ooh.
Gives off to Burns. And Blair in no rush with under 3 minutes to play. They hold a 14-point lead. Lubreski works on James Scott. Left elbow for Burns. Could have been a foul on Scott there. They didn't call it, and Elijah Burns is going to throw it out of bounds. Unfortunate that that foul was not called. May have been a make-up non-call. As there was a non-call against Blair on the other end, a make-up non-call on that end of the floor, perhaps. 2:42 to play. Montilus across midcourt. Drives and has his pocket picked by Donovan Wright. 2-on-1 fast break. And Wright fouled. Throws it up for Noel. Wright will be at the line to shoot a 1-and-1. Just about 2.5 minutes to go in the game. Donovan Wright has 4 points. He leads the team in biceps. They're phenomenal. That kid must spend 16 hours a day in the gym.
He does, doesn't he?
There is not a scenario in which I could ever have biceps like that.
You know, you just got to work really hard and eat your Wheaties.
Hits the first, can't hit the second. On the break, now Scott hangs in the air and finishes. 12 points for Scott. He leads Pope John. Inbound for Turner. Doubled, passes ahead to Delaney. Delaney cross court for Lubreski. Now Wright. Wright, one-handed pass into the post for Burns, and Blair will reset. That was beautiful.
That's how you get through that press and able to take control here.
Turner up top, Delaney. Blair, very good at playing keep away. That's what they'll do here. Burns. Now Turner. Doubled. Cross court for Lubreski. Up top, Burns. They'll play catch. Left corner, and Donovan Wright is fouled. No, did they say that was on the floor? No, they'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I thought they weren't going to give him that one. That would have been a travesty. But Donovan Wright
to the line
earns it. He'll be at the line for one more. (52-37). The Blair Buccaneers lead it over the Pope John Lions. Jeremy Rodriguez back into the game for Pope John. Out comes Damian Rance. Wright looking to finish an old-fashioned three-point play. I guess not that old-fashioned if you're talking about the days when you couldn't dunk. Can't hit. 1:40 to play. The other way, a jumper from Scott. Good. 14 for James Scott. Really the redeeming game note for Pope John is that James Scott has played phenomenally well. 1.5 to play. Still a 13-point lead for Blair. Just about out of reach. Elijah Burns will throw it in from the corner. For Delaney. Stolen away. Montilus, the alley-oop. Jang misses the layup. Delaney looking to rip it away. Gets a jump ball. Possession arrow, though, favors. Whoa, and we have some extracurricular activities here. Jang started something with Donovan Wright. His teammates forced to pull him away. And I think Jang is going to get teed up.
Yeah, I would expect nothing less here. I think that comes out of frustration. The way this game has gone for Jang has culminated in just his frustration right here. I mean, we're going to take a look right now at, let me just pull it back here just a little bit, though. But again, this full court press has been the absolute bane of Blair's game right now, and their inability to really consistently beat it. But I mean, here we see the steal here, and you know, just couldn't get a handle on it. you know, it's basketball. It's hard ball. They're trying to rip the ball out, and Lubreski's in there, and
that was 100% started by Jang. And it was Donovan Wright who came over not to fight, but just to protect his teammate, shoving Brett Lubreski. That's, you know what I have to say, that was kind of lame. If you're Mustafa Jang, you're 6'9", you're a monster of a human being, and you're going to push around Brett Lubreski at 6'3", pick on someone your own size, man.
Yeah, and he looks small compared to. 6'3" isn't nothing to sneeze at here, but
no. But when you're comparing it to the 6'9" guy going to Syracuse next year,
and I'm not one to speculate, but I think I think that's a little overestimation there on the roster. I don't really see him as 6'3", but
a generous 6'3".
It's
perhaps?
A generous 6'3".
Baseball, of course, Lubreski's main sport. He'll play that at the New Jersey Institute of Technology next year.
Going from a Buccaneer to a Highlander.
Montilus up top. Works on Burns. Gives off. Scott a three. No good. Rebounded Rodriguez. Rodriguez stepped out of bounds. Good job by the referee. All over the call. Just over a minute to play. It remains a 13-point lead for the Bucs. Ahead, Donovan Wright. Reverse layup. Good. 9 for Donovan Wright. Now Rodriguez on the other end. Under a minute to play. Rodriguez goes to the basket. It'll be waved off, a foul on the floor. They'll get Elijah Burns with the foul. They'll say 54 seconds to play. On the floor, so Matt Zignorski will inbound.
Timeout called by Mantegna here.
So with 54 on the clock, it's a 15-point lead for Blair. We'll be back with the conclusion after this. It's high school basketball here on Strive. Right back to live action out of the timeout. Under a minute to play. Big lead for Blair as Montilus drives for Pope John. Fouled in the lane en route to the hoop. And they'll actually say the foul occurred on the floor before the shot. A little surprised at that one. Thought that was in the act.
A lot of contact during the shot here, but they might have caught it beforehand. And the quick release three is good. Timeout called by Pope John.
Scott with the triple. He leads all scorers with 17. 42 seconds to play in this game. And Derek, it has been, I can't say Blair from the get-go, because in the very early going, Pope John got out to a quick lead in this one. Then it turned around. Blair got on a bit of a run. Elijah Burns had a couple of buckets. Matt Turner, Spencer Osborne. And suddenly you look up at the scoreboard, and Blair has a 10-point lead. It's just a great game from not quite start to finish, but about 2 minutes in to finish.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was probably not until around 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter that we really saw Blair take control. And what they needed to do was just get their legs, under them, get their head on straight here, because Pope John came out and hit. They won the tip, and they got a three immediately. And they went out to a 7 or 8 point lead within a matter of a minute. And so it really took them Blair a few minutes to really get going, but once they did, they were in control ever since, and they've kind of maintained this 10-point buffer since the second quarter.
42 seconds to play. Blair ball out of the timeout, working left to right in their home white jerseys. Farrell to throw it in for Turner. Now Delaney, stolen away by Montilus. Montilus, the layup, good. 30 seconds to play. Turner to Delaney. Ahead to Lubreski. Lubreski pulls up beyond the three-point arc, gives to Delaney, hands off for Donovan Wright, and he's fouled. They call a foul with 24 seconds remaining. That should be the 10th team foul against Pope John, and it should put Donovan Wright at the line to shoot 2. Wright, if he can hit at least 1, will be the 4th Buccaneer in double figures in this game.
That's a testament to unselfish play.
And the numbers, if he can hit the second one, he misses the first, would be 11 points for Osborne, 10 for Turner, 10 for Burns, and right now, Wright has 9. That's about as balanced as scoring can get.
Yeah.
Wright does, in fact, hit, and 4 Buccaneers in double figures. The shot from Scott the other way won't go. Scott just jacking him up right now.
Yeah, just trying to do everything he can to put as many points on the board. So what Blair needs to do here is just get through this last press and hold on to it, and I think they have themselves the victory.
And it'll be Blair ball. Not sure if that was a foul off the ball because the referee didn't go over to the table to call a foul.
I don't know what that was because he ran up and down the sideline. Maybe you can't do that because it wasn't after a basket, was it?
I thought it was. Another tussle over on the sideline as Tim Delaney knocked to the ground with 12 seconds remaining. Oh, you're right, Derek. It was after a missed shot out of bounds, so unable to run the baseline. That was the reason for the call on that last play.
There you have it. And we're trying to sort out what happened here.
Whatever it is, looks like it'll go against the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I think we're going to get it. It was a technical.
Technical.
Let's see. I think on his way down, I forget who that was. Let's see if I can go back here in time as he takes his shot here. Yeah, I mean, it was just watch for Delaney here. I mean, he was kind of tripped up, and he just lands hard on the line of, I'm not sure who it was, but I guess the referees didn't like how he fell. Not much you can do about that.
That's tough. It kind of looked like maybe he just slipped, perhaps the floor a bit wet after the Lions player had just fallen down there a moment earlier. Very easy to slip in those types of situations, but Matt Zagnorski able to hit both. Does cut the deficit to single digits for the Lions. Still, though, 55-46, a 9-point lead for Blair, and just 12.6 seconds remaining in this game. Just about out of reach.
Yeah, they need to, I mean, if you're Blair, all you're thinking is get the ball down court, you know?
Exactly. Cross over the timeline and just keep away.
Just get it down there, because even if you waste 2 or 3 seconds of time, that's enough to really seal it here.
Now it will be Pope John ball out of the timeout. Mm-hmm. They get the ball after the technical free throw, so they'll probably look for a quick three from James Scott or Damian Rance. And perhaps Zagnorski.
And their Pope John's, their full court press has been quite effective. One of the most effective I've seen in high school basketball. And so they're really able to force the issue. And we've seen a number of times tonight, at least 4 times, Blair give it up because of the pressure. So it's not totally out of the realm of possibility, although highly unlikely, sure.
Inbounds, Zignorski, a three, good.
Okay, well, that was the longest three I've seen all night, and suddenly the lead has been cut down quite a bit.
Still, though, 6 points in 9 seconds.
Well, yeah, they're going to have to force a turnover immediately, and what they'll probably end up doing is just fouling, and then we'll go to the line, and then Blair needs to sink there too, and then I think that'll seal it. If they don't sink their free throws, then it's another story, but
even just one foul shot makes it a 3-possession game, and that just about completely locks it up.
Yes.
Having said that, still, it would be incredibly unlikely for the Lions to come back in this game.
I've seen crazier things, but not at this level.
It will be Blair ball out of the timeout. They'll work left to right in their home white jerseys with the silver numerals. Pope John, the Lions across the back of the jersey. Blue jerseys, blue shorts, white outlines and numerals. Matt Turner, Brett Lubreski, Cedric Farrell, Spencer Osborne, and Donovan Wright, the 5 on the floor for Blair. Inbound and a quick foul. Lubreski will go to the line. 2 seconds tick off the clock.
And they're gonna looks like the clock. Yeah, it looks like the clock ran off a little bit.
That was a quick 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's a home 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? That's the benefit of being the home team. You get to do stuff like that.
And we see the coach letting the keeper have it, the scorekeeper have it.
The referees will confer to the right of half court, and perhaps conferring, saying, we'll put another second or so up on the clock. Referee goes over to the scorer's table, and judging by the incredulous look on Coach Jason Hassan's face, I'm guessing that he's saying, we're not putting any time up there. Hassan has not been happy with the officiating in this game, but it's gone both ways. There have been some iffy calls for both teams.
Yeah, I think they're going to put 4/10 back up and get it at 8 seconds even. And yeah, that's exactly what they do. I saw them signal to 8, and he's still not happy about it.
I mean, that means that the inbound of the foul took effectively 1.4 seconds. That seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah, it's reasonable. And he's still freaking out about it, so.
Lubreski can't hit the first. John Noel will come into the game for Donovan Wright for Blair. For the Lions, Damian Rance back in. Lubreski will look to go 1 for 2. If he hits it, just about seals the deal. He does.
Okay.
3-possession game. James Scott the other way. Quick drive to the basket, and the layup good. And a timeout called with 2.2 on the clock.
So with a 5-point lead and 2.2 seconds left, and the scorekeeper not going to make a single mistake now, lest he feel the wrath of Coach Hassan.
It has to be almost physically impossible for Pope John to come back here. Down 5 with 2.2 to go. They would have to immediately get the inbounds pass stolen away, pull up for a shot, foul again, or steal the inbound pass again.
Right.
It's just physically impossible. Short of Blair throwing an alley-oop dunk to Pope John.
I think that's the only scenario in which there would be enough time on the clock is for Blair to actually score their own bucket from the baseline. But, we'll see what happens with the scorekeeper.
Lubreski runs the baseline, throws it in. It's stolen away by Rodriguez. He throws it up. Won't matter. Game over.
And that's the right move here. Just throw it as far down as you can because they can't run the court in enough time. So an exciting finish filled with passion on both sides for sure, but a really, really great game.
A 56-51 win. Blair wins a big one over Pope John. The Buccaneers improve to 15-4 on the season. Pope John falls to 14-3, their second loss in 3 games, coming at the hands of the Blair Buccaneers. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this. It's high school basketball here on Strive. Blair came into this game at 14-4. They improved to 15-4 with a big win over Pope John. The final 56-51 in favor of the Buccaneers. As we take a look at some of the leading scorers in the game, we'll start with the visitors. Pope John, they were led offensively by James Scott. He had a game-high 19. 8 points from Ray Montillis, 7 from Jeremy Rodriguez, Matt Zagorski, and Mustafa Jang had 7 apiece. All 7 of Jang's points came in the first half. He was shut down in half number 2. 3 for Damian Rance to round out the 51 points for Pope John. For the home team, the Blair Buccaneers were led by 11 out of Spencer Osborne. 10 apiece for Matt Turner, Donovan Wright, and Elijah Burns, all in double figures in the game. 6 for Brett Lubreski, 5 for Tim Delaney, and 4 for John Noel. 56-51 the final, and Derek, it was a great game for the Blair Buccaneers, and a big win.
Yeah, a huge win, especially after they fell to Pope John earlier in the year. This was certainly a confidence booster for them. They were able to learn a lot, and they were able to play incredibly well. I could not get over 2 things. One, their passing. They had fantastic passing in tight spaces, able to make crisp, clean passes, and that's what you have to do if you want to get through the full court press. They had a little bit of trouble with it. I'm sure that's something that Coach Mantegna is going to work on with these guys over practice the next couple of days, is getting through that full court press. But how about the defensive effort from Tim Delaney and Elijah Burns? I mean, Elijah Burns was all over the place tonight, able to do, dish it out, assisting in dunks. He had a few of his own, and Delaney was just over Jang like white on rice. I mean, I could not believe the outstanding effort of those 2 guys in shutting down their number 1 in Jang.
Yeah, I would agree. To me, Tim Delaney's post defense on Jang was my number 1 takeaway from this game from the get-go. Mustafa Jang scored 3 points in the first 5 seconds of this game. He scored 4 the rest of the first half. He scored 0 in the second half, and Tim Delaney shut him down, had multiple steals, just ripping it out of his hands. Delaney just he had 5 points. He didn't do a ton of scoring. He didn't need to. His job tonight was shut down Mustafa Jang, and he absolutely succeeded. That'll just about do it for our coverage of this game. For Derek Raymond and our entire broadcast crew, I'm Sean Lerman. Again, the final 56-51. The Blair Buccaneers win it over the Pope John Lions. Have a great night, everyone.